A recently signed peace agreement between Colombia's government and the left-wing guerrilla group known as the FARC opens the door to restoring the country's natural resources and biodiversity and safeguarding them against further damage. At the heart of Colombia's natural heritage are the ecosystems and resources most heavily impacted by the conflict, its national protected areas. Peace, prosperity, and the future of Colombia depend on conserving these precious places forever. From glacier-capped mountains and mighty rivers, to lush wetlands and coral reefs, from the Amazon rainforest to the savannas of the Llanos, Colombia is, for its size, the most biodiverse country on the planet. It has more species of birds, butterflies, and frogs than anywhere else. Many of them can be found in Colombia's 34 million acres of public protected areas, which are home to thousands of plant and animal species found nowhere else on Earth. Rain and snow that fall in these protected areas bring drinking water to 25 million Colombians and fuel most of the country's agriculture. Colombia's forests and mangroves help protect the coastlines, reduce flooding, and represent one of the world's great storehouses of carbon. Protected areas provide food and livelihoods to millions of people, from those in local indigenous and Afro-Colombian communities to urban centers hundreds of miles away. During the conflict, Colombia's most precious and most bitterly contested natural resources were inside the protected areas. They became hotspots for illegal activities like coca production, unsustainable logging, and mining. Some of the wildest and most remote landscapes also became strongholds of the armed groups. All in all, 2/3 of Colombia's protected areas were located in conflict zones. Because much of the conflict was waged over land, particularly who owns it and who can use it, lasting peace depends upon safeguarding Colombia's protected areas and the land that surrounds them. Restoring degraded landscapes and conserving the regions left untouched by the conflict are key elements of the peace process, ensuring that Colombia's natural wealth will benefit all Colombians and people around the world. Heritage Colombia is an ambitious initiative that aims to do just that. Led by the Colombia National Parks Agency and with support from World Wildlife Fund and others, Heritage Colombia will create a fund that will be used to increase the size of Colombia's protected areas by 5 million acres and engage local communities throughout the country to improve the management and governance of protected areas and the landscapes around them. Conserving and managing Colombia's wild places is critical for achieving peace, but our time is running out. Many industries see Colombia's newfound stability as an opportunity to develop land and exploit natural resources. But right now, we have the political will to implement Heritage Colombia and safeguard Colombia's natural legacy forever. As Colombia enters a new chapter of its history, we need to ask ourselves what kind of country we want to pass on to future generations. Do we want an unstable future where people are vulnerable, land is degraded, food and water are scarce, and wildlife have nowhere to live? Or do we want a peaceful country where people and wildlife have the natural resources they need, not just to survive, but to flourish? The decision is ours. Help us protect the heritage that Colombia and the world deserve.